Thank you for staying with us on Good Morning Abuja on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5. Now we are going to have a conversation on impact of technology on social interaction. And to discuss this, we have Said Ayeboka. He's an experiential specialist in effective communication and human behavior. Join me as I welcome Said to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good to have you on Good Morning Abuja.
The feeling is mutual.
Okay. And now to start with, how does technology affect human interaction?
I think we need to start from the background of when there was no technology of a sort. Communication was limited to physical interactions, body gestures, talking to somebody physically, and probably writing also, using the post office to send letters. But when technology came with the advent of telephone in the 1970s, it changed the narration. It changed the narrative from the fact that you can speak to somebody being in Nigeria, you can speak to somebody elsewhere, even though as of that time we didn't have phones in Nigeria. So you could use telephone, you could use land phones to communicate from Lagos to Abuja, from Ikare to Ijebu, from Gusau to Meduguri, like that. So that was the beginning. So in the mid-1990s, we had the beginning of smartphones. And it has been said that the greatest invention after electricity is the internet. So when the smartphone came, the highest content you could share was just 300 KB. Any picture of 300 KB now will be in a very low resolution. That was the highest we could send as of that time. So later on, we could send from SMS, we went to MMS. From MMS, we went to pictures. From pictures, we went to videos. From videos, we went to virtual reality. The latest technology for communication currently is the virtual reality. And it's according to multiple researches, it is said that an average young person or even an elderly person would rather watch a video than read a text. So communication has become more sophisticated, and what communication came with, most especially when internet came, was to change medium to media. So before media is a plural form for the word medium. So what we had before was just medium. You communicate from one person to the other, but now there's media. So it's a multiplicity of mediums to communicate with people. So that is what smartphones or the internet technology came with.
Looking at the migration of communication means and the upgrading and where we are today. And of course, based on what you just explained, it has impact on social skills of humans. So now, what do you think can be done to check all the negative effect of this?
I think I probably straight to that question, although I would have given a background, straight to the question. According to multiple researches that were carried out, the greatest negative impact of social media is loneliness, anxiety, and boredom. And these three things have implications. According to HubSpot, they said the anxiety suffered by students in colleges now, students in the universities, is the same anxiety suffered in 1951 by psychiatric patients. So this is the impact of social media. That is what it has caused. Before, you are not influenced, and for humans, for those who studied psychology, everything you see, everything you hear, everything you watch has a serious influence on you. Everything stays in your frontal cortex. So in your frontal cortex, the kind of the importance you give to some certain things makes your memory recall it faster. So everything you see on the social media, every content you watch, remains in your brain. If you don't put so much importance to them, then they go to your subconscious. And humans, according to William James, 90% of human behaviors are mere habits. According to him, everything you are doing, if you just check your routine from morning to night, they are habits. Check it with, if today is Thursday, check last week Thursday. If today is Friday, check last week Friday. You will see that they are almost similar. What controls your habits? Your subconscious. So it is what you've been feeding yourself that influences your conscious decisions. You are not taking decisions. You are only following habits. 90% of your actions in every day. Even some people, 100% of their actions are mere products of habits. You are being influenced with everything you watch. They go to your subconscious and they influence your consciousness. So at the end of the day, you have physical friends, you no longer pay attention to them. You pay attention to online friends that can influence you on things your parents would wonder, where are you getting this from? For example, one of our scholars once said that you can be in your sitting room thinking your child is in the bedroom, but that child is actually in America. Because he's watching Nollywood, so he's grabbing many things from America, from their culture. So
all right, now, in essence, now how can all this be corrected so that our cultural values will not be eroded in a way by technology?
I think it's a very big task. it's a very big task. That is even if it is possible, because the online world is about fun and what entertains. If you put in NTA, if you put in an educational show, just check the number of views you have with when you put in music or when you put in comedy. The millennials are not interested in the educative stuff to that extent. They are more interested in having fun. So even if you have your fantastic content, they are not ready to watch that fantastic content. So that's also another problem. They are not ready. They want something that will make them fun, that will give them fun, something they will laugh about, something they will joke about. If you see on TikToks in Nigeria, how many contents are you getting that are very positive? So it's a big problem. One of the things we need to start from is what the Talks are doing. The Talks, they came up with a movie. It's a 500 episodic movie called El Tugu. It's about their story from beginning to where they are. That movie came out, it's a season movie, came out in 2020, and it has been one of the most influential movies in the world. So he told them, this is where we are coming from. You need to know about your background so that you know where you are going. So from there, they were able to get a sense of identity. Now they know the struggle their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents went through for them to have what they have today. You check yourself like that. Haven't I failed?
All right, Mr. Said, how do we correct our youth from this negative impression on what they consume on social media?
I think the first thing is we need to even understand how these things work. You see, the development of human brain with the knowledge of neuroscience has really helped. Psychiatric doctors, psychology has really helped. You see, for the young ones, we deal with the young ones as though they are adults. They are not. The human brain, there's a part of the human brain called the limbic cortex. Your limbic cortex is in charge of appetite, desire, and wants, enjoyment. Why there's another part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex is in charge of thinking and judgment. For girls, their limbic cortex that is in charge of appetite, enjoyment, goes into maturity, some when they are 14, 15. For boys, maybe 17, 18, because women mature faster than boys, even the brain mature. Just that when you get to middle 20s, everything becomes almost the same. But the prefrontal cortex in charge of thinking and judgment does not go into maturity until your mid-20s. So there's a mismatch. Your appetite, your want for enjoyment has reached its peak. The same enjoyment a 40-year-old woman wants, a 12-year-old girl wants it. But the brain, the 40-year-old woman we used to see, I'm not doing this, in charge of judgment and thinking, is not yet mature for her, but is matured for the lady. So we should expect that children, people below the age of 25, will make mistakes in their judgment because their brain is not yet mature. There's a mismatch with the limbic cortex and the prefrontal cortex. So that is why mentorship is key. Okay. So you need to mentor those children so that you can help them use your own mature prefrontal cortex to help them augment their own immature prefrontal cortex. When you do that, mentorship is key, extremely key, by parents. And some parents are even parenting in proxy. And I think one of the major problems now is the issue of what we call baby mama, baby this thing. A musician has 4 wives, five women with children that give birth to children for him. How will he nurture them? How? And he does not visit a house for a whole month. And you think a woman alone can nurture a child? No.
There are still parents that have men that have no more than 1 wives, but they are not really having that contact with their children.
Yes, even if you don't have contact, your presence. Like when we were young, when our dad is not at home, we feel very free, even if he does not interfere. The presence of a man has a work. That is the minimum you can. Just be present. But you can do far, far more than being present. You can take charge. And one of the things I would advocate to every family is every family should have a vision. And that is the greatest function of a man. Okay. The greatest function of a man is to come up with a vision for the family. We have vision for ourselves.
And that should be replicated in the
in the homes. Even if you can paste your vision in your rooms. If you won't put it in the sitting room, paste your visions in your room so that can give your children a sense of belonging. They can have a sense of this is where we are going. Most of us don't know where we are going. So anything can just influence us at any time.
And constantly reminding them of the vision, not only to chant it, but to live it.
The main core of it.
Vision is also
and I would also
important.
advise that even for parents, probably you did journalism, mass communication, you read books on those fields. A medical doctor reads books on medicine. A lawyer reads books on constitution. You can't parent without reading books about parenting. You need to understand what is in the head of your child. So one of the books I would recommend personally is a book written by Professor Duba. It's a localized book, a book you can use in Nigeria. Tell, Don't Yell. Tell, Don't Yell. It's a book about parenting that you can go for and you can learn from on how to parent. It's key.
Okay, now apart from reading that book, for parents that have not gone to school, are not fortunate to go to school, what would they do in parenting?
A book is the thoughts of an expert on a certain field. Okay. There are people who are also experts on those things that are around. They are great-grandfathers, they are around. They know how to nurture children. Just that the current setting now is different because of internet. And also platforms like NTA, books like that. You make each chapter. You can create episodes where somebody like that comes or someone else comes. Programs, and they take a chapter in that book, probably 10-30 minutes. They treat it like that, so that people can hear. If you can't read, like I said, reading is becoming more burdensome for the millennials. So you need to do videos if you even want to get any attention from them.
Okay, that's very good and very well spoken. Thank you so much, Mr. Said.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
We really appreciate your thoughts on this program as regards impact of technology on social interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes. I've been speaking with Said Ayeboka. He is an experiential specialist in effective communication and human behavior. And of course, you've heard it all from him that parenting, effective parenting is key here. And also we have to also control our children, know what our children are doing, and we have to guide them appropriately. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. It continues shortly. Stay with us.